This is a memory test, right?
Yeah,
Let us come together now in a moment of prayer as we open today. Divine Creator, let us come into your presence in this now moment and become vessels to hold your light and your love within the heart of our beings. Uplift us into the unity of joy. Our hearts come into coherence and we come to know the truth of our existence. We are here on planet Earth to bring your presence out into the world as we express that love, that peace, that comfort of the light into all that is. Divine creation, all that is divine creation, we as human spiritual beings are incarnate on this beautiful blue jewel Gaia Earth. And we express our gratitude and our thankfulness for this experience of this life. Amen.
I didn't forget it's my turn. Oh, except I forgot to talk. Oh, well, it's going to be interesting.
Good day.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I was up at 2 a.m. this morning and, working away on stuff. And then I should be well prepared. I have no excuse for forgetting who's on first. Welcome to those online. We're having fun here this morning. We wished you were here with us. Yeah, yes. But I did go back to sleep for a little while, so I'm even more prepared now in other ways. All right, so my talk today is going to be on clarity for new beginnings. This is a talk about intention settings. And even though I know that that topic is kind of way overdone in a sense, everybody's talking about it, and everywhere you turn, they're giving you advice on it, and it's almost to nauseum in a sense. And yet it's really important. So I chose to go ahead and talk about it today because it's a part of a lot of conversations at this time of year. And I had a request for the topic as well. So we also have this, our New Year's Eve ceremony coming up on Wednesday evening here at 7 o'clock. So this is kind of a preparation, could be a preparation for that New Year's Eve ceremony that we're going to have. So it's an exercise, can be an exercise in intention setting. So we're going to go ahead and get started with it today. This is the time of year where we reflect on our prior year, recapping what the best parts of our year was, our accomplishments, our losses, our growths of mind and spirit, our hardships, and hopefully reviewing some of the things we could have done better or we want to do differently in the upcoming year. And then we also start thinking about the next year, what's coming up next. And we sometimes work on New Year's resolutions, fresh starts. What am I going to do differently in this next year, etc. So all kinds of, we go down the list. Well, with 2025 being an ending year in numerology, we're just wrapping up a year of closures, a year of endings. And I'm sure that everybody can think of something that they wrapped up in this year or came to a close or had difficulty managing or handling in this year. But this upcoming year, 2026, is especially important because it's 2026 in numerology is a 1 or a 10 year. So new beginnings, new starts. And so it's especially important, I believe, this time of year or this year to really be mindful about what intentions we're setting, because not only is it a new year for us personally, but collectively in 2026 as a collective number, it's important that collectively we're starting with new beginnings as well. And there are so many ways of setting intentions. You just listen to anything online and everybody has their own way, and they're all good. All those ways are good. And I can't imagine that there's a wrong way of setting intentions. But what I really want to talk about is the pre work, one aspect of it, and then the outcome is another aspect of it. And the after of our intention settings. How you do it in the middle is kind of a personal journey or what works for you in a sense, although I will review some of that. And now, what I mean by pre work is the preparation of setting an intention and getting your thoughts clear, clearing your thoughts, clearing your mind, and clearly defining the words is very important. And if your mind is all jumbled up and your thoughts are all jumbled up, you're probably going to have a jumbled up outcome. So it's real important to get clarity in all of those ways. I was talking to a friend recently, and she was saying that she doesn't set intentions because she's so afraid of inhibiting life. She's so concerned that she'll have her mind so focused on one thing, and the universe might be trying to bring in other things for her, but she's so set on one thing that she will miss it. So she doesn't really want to take the chance of missing something else that's good because then because she's so focused on one thing. And I completely understand. It's a real dilemma in a sense. So my solution has always been to say, I want this or better. And that opens the door for something beyond what I can imagine or know. I never wanted to be limited by my imagination because I can only imagine what I know. So, or, it has to be familiar in some way. So when I was in my late 30s and I was looking for a relationship, I didn't know really what I wanted because I didn't know who I was. And, at that age, oftentimes you don't know all of those things. So when I would go out with somebody or get to know somebody, I would decide, well, I like that. I like this about them. I like I like this characteristic. And so I kind of started a little catalog of what I liked and what I didn't like. And it was a reflection of me, is what it really was. Because it gave me an opportunity to get to know me. And then I would say, okay, I want these things or better, universe. And so I would always focus on that or better because I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know myself, but it seemed to work. And I've used that principle ever since then. So spirit may have something in mind for you that you never even thought of before and you couldn't even imagine. So I always do my best to leave myself a little room for spirit to show up in a magical way, in a way that is beyond my ability to comprehend at the time. And so, but I want to remain flexible and clear. Another principle in manifesting or intention setting is not in controlling how it arrives. This is where oftentimes we get hung up on what we think needs to happen, how we think it needs to happen, how it can come to us, because we can only make that judgment on what we already know. So we think, well, okay, I want this, so we've got to go through this, and this, and we line up the how of it, and that's fine as long as we leave open enough space for spirit to show up or for something to come to us. In some ways, it's almost as if things materialize in a way we couldn't even imagine. Um, and we can say that I'm not familiar with a new way, but I'm open to it. So there's a lot of different ways that we can say how it is that we want to uh, set that intention of leaving room for spirit to show up, because we can only create from our past in creating from the known. So it's important to be clear on the outcomes of what we want, not just the process of how it's going to get there, and not the how we're going to bring it into our life, but the what we're going to bring into our life. An example might be that somebody wants a particular job. Rather than stating what job they want, focus on the outcome of how you would feel to have that job. What would it feel like to have that job that utilizes your skills and talents? What is it? What is it that? What does that feel like to have that job that pays you well? What does it feel like to have that? What does it feel like to have a coworker that is fun, work it in a fun environment. Or you might include things like within so many mile radius of my home. That's an outcome that you would be focusing on. Allowing you to work remotely, maybe that's an important aspect for you. So we put our energies and intentions on the outcome and what it feels like to have that outcome rather than the how it's going to arrive. And then we work on the feeling. The feeling of the outcome is what I've been saying. What it feels like in the best case scenario, and because our thoughts are what we send out, that's the broadcast, and our emotions, our feelings, is the magnet. So we send out the thought, then we feel the feeling, and it pulls it. That's our magnetic signature, are our feelings. And actually, this has been proved in quantum physics to be true. They've measured all of these electromagnetic signals. So it's more than just woo-woo stuff. So yes, so I'm sure you get the idea of the exercise. And then it's important to let it go. Sometimes that's the hard part, meaning we let go of the process of how it comes. Not that we let go of the idea necessarily, or the desire, or the feelings of it, but we let go of how it's going to arrive. But we stay alert and vigil to the signs from the universe, because the universe is going to help us, but we also have to do our part, meaning showing up for that hunch, showing up for that feeling to go to this place or that place or talk to this person or that person. We're not going to be allowed to just sit on our laurels and eat bonbons and expect the world to get better, in a sense. Exaggerated scenario, of course. But as our timelines are collapsing, we've all pretty much agreed our timelines are collapsing in our reality. So as our timelines are collapsing, it's becoming very important to not be attached to how things happen, because it seems as though at times that things can almost manifest out of thin air. It doesn't match our rational timeline thinking. You have to do this, and this happens before that can show up for you anymore. As our timelines are collapsing, things are just materializing in ways that are beyond our comprehension to understand. And we don't need to understand. We just need to be grateful. When it shows up, you just be grateful. That's it. I was experiencing that with my mother's recent hospitalization, and every time I was just so grateful for everything. And every time I went to visit her, there was a perfect parking spot. We always talk about the parking guard angels, and I don't really pay that much attention to them, but during that period of time, it was so wonderful just to pull in. It's like, oh, even in a busy time, I got the perfect spot. Thank you. Always, always, always expressing gratitude. And it just kept happening for me. And I just felt so supported by spirit and so supported by the angelic realm. Everything was easy during that period of time of taking care of her and all of those kinds of things. Easy for me, I should say. They were a little harder for her because she was on the other end of the bed, but but it was still good. Everything turned out really good. So as our timelines are collapsing, things just manifest. Allow it to come and just always say gratitude. Another thing to think about when you're working on intentions or manifestation is your internal work. Asking yourself, are you really ready to receive what you're asking for? Are you truly ready for it? Or when it shows up, are you going to deny it? Or are you going to self-sabotage because you're not? You don't have the template to receive it yet. And that's very important. Otherwise, you'll continue to recreate from the past of what you know. Because if you're still telling your stories of your past and living by the memories of the past, then that's what you're going to create from. So are you really ready? Have you really done your internal work? Because we want something new. We want something better. So doing your preparation work, forgiving yourself, having a healthy self-esteem, loving yourself for who you are, not in ignorance, not ignorance, but not in arrogance or conceit, but in honest appreciation for being here on this planet. It's not easy to be a human on this planet. Sometimes it's rough. So it's like having the remnants of a mess on the table when we finish a project. And now our project is done. We've completed it. We've completed 2025. So now we got to clean it up and clear the table for our next project. We've all had projects, right? You got a workbench, kitchen table. That's where my projects happen. And I get my all done and I look around and there's a mess. And it's like, but now I'm on to the next thing. I got to clean up my mess. This is what we need to do internally in order to receive what we're wanting to manifest and bring in for 2026. So we got to clear the table first. That's the preparation work. So doing your inner work is sometimes kind of tough. We just want to be done and move on to the next thing. My dad never finished a project because he was always on to the next thing. He was an Aquarius, and Aquarians typically are so in their head. I mean, he was an inventor kind of guy. So he would build something, invent something, and as soon as in his mind it was complete, he was on to the next thing. It's like, but wait, this isn't running yet. Oh, but he's on to the next thing. We don't want to do that in this intention setting. Just because now we get our sights on another goal and we want things to be better, we got to clean up the table first and finish our project that we just did. So we got a little time, but not much because it's the first is coming right around the corner, but it's an ongoing process. Another aspect of intention setting and manifesting is trusting your partnership with your divine beings. To trust them. They are looking out for you for your best good. Sometimes we work so hard to manifest that certain thing and it never comes into being. It could be because we didn't clear the table. It could be because we had other things going on, other beliefs that were more powerful and strong than that. But it could be that the answer was no. Sometimes that happens. Our divine beings know what's better for us. And at the time, we don't have the foresight to see what's coming down the road. And later we can look back and think, oh man, I'm so glad I didn't get what I was asking for. I didn't know that this other thing was going to be so much better. So sometimes we just have to trust that because something isn't showing up for us right now, it might be because we might not be ready for it, or it's not the best thing for us at this time. So trusting that they're looking out for our best interest is very important. And so we just need to have that faith, the faith that it'll work out sometime if it's for my best good. And I also want to talk about outcomes of attention setting. This one is a little harder to understand or accept when things happen in a way that we don't expect. Because if we're asking for peace and harmony in our life, that which is not peaceful or in harmony needs to leave. It has to. It's not in vibrational frequency. It's not a vibrational frequency that is compatible. So often when we strive for that, or we're setting up intention for love. Well, if we're in a partnership and that person isn't capable of the kind of love we're asking for, it has to go because it's not compatible. A change has to happen. So sometimes, and as Dr. Joe Dispenza, he says it best, I think, he talks about when people are doing the work, as he calls it, the work. And they're doing their manifestations, they're doing their meditations, they're feeling the feelings, they're creating in their mind as if it's more real than their reality. And then their life falls apart. And he goes, yeah, that's right. It's making room for something new. It's making room for your higher vibrational frequency. Well, my wife left me and I lost my job. And he's like, yeah, because you weren't happy at your work anyway. And your wife isn't capable of loving you the way you want to be loved. So, it happens. and we think we've done something wrong. But what we have to really realize is we can't make other people be different than they are. We can't bend their will to be compatible with us. Or we can't bend our will to be compatible with them sometimes, or with our situation, or with whatever, fill in the blank. So then we have to realize that something better is coming. If your life falls apart after your intention setting or your manifestations, to have the faith in knowing that something better is coming and keep holding that high vibrational frequency. Don't default and think this ruined my life. It didn't. You haven't sustained long enough to see the positive outcome that's coming. and something better is in mind for you. So, not to scare you by any means into not manifesting or not intention setting, but just know that if you do and your life kind of gets some hiccups or some rocky spots in it, stay the course. Don't lose faith. Don't start grabbing onto the familiar. Don't start reaching for the past, because that's what you're trying to move forward from. So we have to realize that just because we ask for peace and harmony doesn't mean the other person's going to change and be more peaceful and harmonious. It means that what we're looking for in here is vibrating out now with us, and whatever's not in harmony with that has to fall away, because we're creating a field that only invites peace and harmony, or only invites love, or only invites our highest good. So that's a little hard one to take sometimes. But sometimes when all the stars line up, that perfect thing shows up. And if we're the ones that are creating the disharmony in our world, which sometimes, I mean, none of us are perfect, we could be the one creating the disharmony. We vibrate at a higher frequency, and everything else falls into place because we've changed. So that can happen as well. And it's a beautiful thing to think, wow, I guess I was the problem. Well, didn't want to admit that. I'll just whisper that below the radar of other people hearing. It's a little embarrassing sometimes. We always want to think we're right and everybody else is wrong. But we are sometimes the biggest contributor. So stick the course. So, so don't let the potential outcome stop you or allow you to going into fear. Don't go into fear over it. Trust your divine partnership and know that it's happening for your highest and your greatest good, whichever way it goes, however it is created. And that you're creating a field, you've cleared the table for something better to show up. Good, bad, or indifferent. And sometimes it's so much better than you could have ever imagined. I've said that a lot of times in my life. Oh my God, I'm so glad I wasn't limited to my imagination, because I would have never imagined this kind of, whatever it was. So your intention settings in the next year, I encourage you to be fearless, to be brave, and to be clear, and be intentional in what it is that you're setting out. Be clear in your words and in your mind, and do your internal work so that the signal that you're sending out in your thoughts is congruent with what you really desire. And then feel the feelings, and then allow the universe to do what the universe does best, and that's love you back. The universe is full of love. That's all it is. And the universe wants you to be abundant. The universe wants you to have your heart's desire. The universe wants you to have a good life and happiness and joy. So make room for that to come in, and know that it's there for you, and knowing that you have your best life yet coming. So let's do a little bit of a meditation. Just close your eyes, and we'll work on that intention setting of that preparation time particularly. So just drop into our heart and explore the inner caverns of our heart and see if there's any places of dissension, any places that we need to forgive ourselves, any place that we need to forgive others, which really starts with ourselves. And set it up on a table or a pedestal so that you can see it for what it is. The truth will set you free. So be truthful, be honest. You had a part in this. It came to you for a reason. There's a story attached to it. And we're ready to let it go. We're ready to release it into the heavens. We're release it into the earth, whichever way works for you. Whether a gust of wind comes across your mind and carries it away and disseminates it back into nature. Whatever method it is that allows you to just be relieved of the burden of an unforgiven part, an unforgiven grudge, or whatever it might be, circumstance, a betrayal, and we just release it back from whence it came. Feeling the freedom, feeling the knowing that all is well in our heart, all is well in our being. We don't need to carry it anymore. We don't need to live by that memory anymore. And we're ready for a new creation. We're ready to create and weave a new story. And now we start to feel the feelings of what it feels like to be relieved of that burden that we no longer carry. The freedom, the lightheartedness, the joy, and feel the feelings of joy in your heart. Feel the feelings of lightness and freedom, of imagination. And we feel the feelings of our new beginning, a new life, a new start, a fresh air about everything. And we take that into our heart, knowing that we can have that. It can be just as real as we are sitting here. Because we're going to hold that vibrational frequency. We're going to hold that thought as long as we need to, knowing that it is more real than the reality we live in right now. And we're going to create from that place. We're going to create from that awareness. And we're just going to hold it through this week. And cherish it and revisit it frequently as we bring our awareness back into the room, putting that memory and that thought in its place to revisit at a later time and keep creating from that place as we bring ourselves back into this room, into this time together. And so it is. Okay. Hopefully we gave you a good place to start for our ceremony on Wednesday. Yeah. All right, so we're going to do the offering for the home center. As you get your gift ready, as we prepare our offering to the home center, let's hold it in our hands and charge it up with the energy of alignment, generosity, and sacred intention. We know that we are part of the greater circulation of good, that our gifts will multiply for the highest healing, growth, and service to us and our community. As the basket is coming around, please fill it with your blessings, and we thank you for your generosity and for continuing to support our good works. And so it is. All right. I'm going to switch with Lynn and have her come up here, and I'll. Oh, it's Connie again. I am so fixated on that. I don't know, Connie. My apologies. You're not an invisible person, I promise you. Oh, that's so funny. I don't know. You're my friend and I love you much. even though you're invisible to me today.
I think this is the point I'm supposed to tell a story, right?
Yeah.
I didn't prepare for that. Talk about being forgetful. Let's see.
Well, I think we're good. She's got it going around. You can go ahead and close.
Let us express our gratitude for having received the uplifting message given this morning by Reverend Madge. I think that it's very important for us to take the time and look at what is it we really desire to have in this life. I can guarantee you that you do what she was talking about. It truly works. When my husband and I came from Kansas out to here to find a home, we looked all over the place and we thought we found that perfect home, and the universe said no. There were 3 other people that had put money down on that home, and it wasn't to be. But the one that we saw way up on a hill to the west of Salem, which we were being told looked to the west, was the right one. So that's my little story. But let's go back now to the prayer. Divine Creator, let us express our gratitude. Yes, thank you, Madge. That was a beautiful message about manifesting. I'll just add that you also want to examine your beliefs because your beliefs can affect the outcome. As we go into this new week, let us take time to be a loving and caring present to others in this world. Let us walk with a feeling of joy in our heart and a smile on our face. And so let this be the way that we greet the world this week. And so it is. Amen.
Are we off?